Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you, Meenu?
I'm also pretty amazing. Yeah, thanks for asking.
Wonderful to know that. Tell me. So, where are you speaking from, Meenu? The first time,
Yes,
right?
yes, we are meeting for the first time. I'm speaking from Noida.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah,
Right? Okay.
yeah.
How long have you been there?
It's been 10 years. I
All
was born
right.
and raised in Delhi. I shifted to Noida 10 years back. So, yeah, currently I'm
Okay.
living in Noida. And would you like to tell me about yourself?
Sure. Okay. My name is Anitha Sudhir, and I'm speaking to you currently from Kerala, from a place
Oh,
called Kannur.
wonderful. Yeah.
Yes, I relocated to Kerala after getting married, but I grew up in Bangalore. I did my education in Bangalore. So that would translate to mean I was there for around 24 years in Bangalore and now 35 years so in Kerala.
Oh,
So, yes, yes.
okay.
And I have been in this field, as in, I have been tutoring students in spoken English for a little over a decade. And I
Mhm.
also simultaneously, parallelly, do the IELTS course
Oh.
training. I mean, yes, I'm a tutor for the IELTS module also.
Mhm.
And yes, and I'm a freelancer basically. I did work for a short while, I think for about 2 years in an institute. But then after that, I decided to start off on my own. And that's where I am.
Yeah, that's
So,
amazing. So I'm also a YouTuber. I have a YouTube channel where, I have been,
wonderful.
yeah, I have been
Wonderful.
teaching spoken English for 3.5 years now. So yeah, I
Oh,
am also loving
inspiring.
it.
Right, that's great. How
Yeah.
did you start off now? Tell me now, what inspired you to
Okay.
become this spoken English trainer? Were you always a teacher? Were you a teacher in the past? Did you
Um,
have aspirations to become a teacher?
no, actually, I did MCA. I was an IT professional. I was a software developer earlier.
Oh my God, what a
Yeah.
jump. Okay.
So then, I got married and I had kids. I had my first daughter, first child. So till 7th months of pregnancy, I kept working. But after that, I stopped working. I wanted to take care of her. After a gap of about 5 to 7 years, when my son was also born, both got a bit older. Then I wanted to start again. But then I didn't want to go into software development again. I started with teaching at my coaching
Right.
center at home. Yeah. So that,
Wonderful.
yeah.
Oh, that's the same thing I did also, Meenu. I started at home actually. Because, like you said, even me too, as long as the boys were there, I was totally into their studies and raising them and, the
Yeah.
rigmarole, the whole
Yeah.
thing. So then, but once they left, that emptiness syndrome set in. So that was a terrible time of my life. And I decided I can't sit around and sob like this or, mop around the place like that. So I had to do something with my time, something creative. And I always loved English I've been very passionate about the language, but I hated being a teacher. It was never ever on my list of priorities. Don't ask
Oh.
me why. Ever since I was a child, when people ask me, what do you want to become? It was never a teacher. I never thought I had the kind of patience, to take a class and to mingle with children. I never thought I had it in me at all. So it's I think when the boys moved away, for their studies to the city, I started thinking that I had to do something with my time. So I initially, like, I wasn't sure what to do. So then I came across this thing. A friend of mine actually is in medical transcription,
Mhm.
and I was fascinated. I like anything that is related to real people,
Mhm.
like working in a with people, like when you're doing medical transcription, you're actually dealing with some live people and their cases. So it's something related to psychology, another subject I'm very passionate about.
Mhm.
So I thought this was like something like a what would I say, an opportunity out of the blue, like a golden opportunity. So then I just found out that there was a place in Kannur itself where they had this, the medical transcription training given, because I had no training at all. Other
Okay.
than being good at English, I didn't have any other skills, and my computer skills were absolutely zero. I never knew how to handle a computer. So then I thought, okay, this is the best, place to start. So I enrolled for that, and it was very interesting. And I thought I'll go full time into medical transcription.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we didn't have that kind of an opportunity in Kerala, especially in Kannur.
Mhm.
So what happened was they weren't able to give us, jobs. And slowly my interest fizzled out because I didn't have anything coming in at all. And every other place that I went to, where I walked into places like, medical transcription centers, asking them if they needed a transcriptionist. And they asked me how long of experience. I said 3 months.
Okay, okay.
So they were actually so patient. They told me, ma'am, at least
Mhm.
4 5 years of experience is what we're looking at, because we're dealing in the medical field. We can't afford to make mistakes. So that's when I came back very disappointed. And then I thought, okay, now what? Then my sister-in-law suggested, said, why don't you have the skill, you know the language, so why don't you teach people? Because people in Kerala, most of them, they say the highly literate state, but then when it comes to speaking in English, they are not there. So I thought, okay, I took that upon as a challenge. And like I said, I just walked into this institute and asked them, do you need a trainer? So they asked me, how long have you been teaching? I said, no, I'm just going to start. so
Okay.
so I guess they were very impressed with the confidence I had, even though that confidence I didn't have inside. But then they told me, okay, join tomorrow and let's see. So it
Okay.
literally just, fell on my lap, and I took it up from there, and I realized that, I mean, I was pretty comfortable with it.
Mhm.
I just took it on from there, and slowly I started off into IELTS. And then I decided, after 2 years, I had some other commitments, so I couldn't do the regular timings at the institute. So I started at home. I realized that I got so many students, because people are just waiting to join actually. They needed somebody to teach them. And it was, my journey started from there. So I haven't
Okay.
looked back since then, I should say. I've just grown better at it each day.
Mhm.
I've been speaking for such a long time. Tell me about your journey, Meenu.
You people are crazy about English, you go
Really?
anywhere, you will find students, who want to
True.
learn about English.
True.
And so many people tell me that it's their dream to become fluent in English.
Really, it is. See, we take it for granted that we speak English, and what's a big deal? I mean, like when I don't speak Hindi, I love to speak Hindi, but I'm not fluent at it. So I keep telling myself, similarly, there's somebody else who wants to speak in English, wants to become fluent in English. What's a big deal? But then I think we are so, what do you say, comfortable in what we have, that we don't somehow appreciate it. I think, we speak English, and that's something some
Yeah.
people are just, they're willing to give up anything to be in our
Yes,
shoes. Right?
certainly, certainly, yeah. So Hindi was not your mother tongue?
No, no, I'm a Malayali. And but
Oh,
the thing is, I studied in a Kendriya Vidyalaya, totally central school. So
okay.
Hindi has been in my blood and my veins, and I love Hindi. Okay, I can write, I can read, and I love to speak my tuta futa Hindi. I always make an attempt also.
But we can both walk English, talk English,
Yes.
like Amitabh Bachchan's dialogue.
Yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I think so. I just banked on my talents at that, and
Hmm.
now I should say I love teaching, and it's so funny. It's so ironical that for someone who hated teaching, I find it very satisfying now.
Okay. It happened with me also. I also wanted to become anything but not a teacher.
See,
Actually, yeah. So when I studied, the computer software and hardware, all that, when I studied that, the first job that I got was of computer teacher. So I became a computer teacher. It was so exhausting. I worked there for 1 year. Then I told everyone that I would never become a teacher again. Then I went into software development. And then later, after my kids, one was 7 and one was 4, then I went into teaching again, and then I started loving it when I started
yes,
teaching little students at my coaching center. I wanted
yes.
to be around them. It was fun to talk to them.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So that's
I
how I
think
started.
I think it could be because I was also missing the children. Like when they left, it was a horrible thing for me. I was truly missing them. So when these children came and we had the classes, it was like I was reliving their childhood again. So
Okay.
I loved it, and importantly, they loved it. So it was
Okay.
always word of mouth for me. So I never had to advertise. I'm not saying that I had a class full of students, but it definitely it was building up, like so many students. And for me, it was never the numbers, it was with the
Mhm.
quality that I could give them. I didn't want to have a class full of students wherein I take just 1 hour class and I just give them something very mediocre.
Mhm.
I wanted to have this one-on-one sessions, and all my students have been so unique. They have been different, and they came from different levels. And obviously, I had to cater to that particular level. So I was actually making lesson plans catering to every single child in the class. That
Okay.
it made me, that I enjoyed immensely, because when you see that happiness on their face when they realize that it's not difficult to learn English, I think it's, I don't know, it's just worth anything to see that smile on their face and that happiness that they've managed to learn something.
Yes.
And of course, to get the feedback from your students after some time, that's something that gives you a total high.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
you used to teach only English at the coaching center or
Yes,
other
yes,
subjects as
yes.
well?
No, 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 absolutely nothing. Only
Okay.
English.
Okay.
I love the language. I used to read. I was an avid reader at one time. Okay, now I don't find the time. And ironically, the minute I open the first page and read by the time I read the preface, I start dozing. So
Okay.
so I think I'm getting old now. So
Okay.
reading has now, it's not active reading. Yes, I do when I need to, something related to my classes. If I need to brush up on something, I read.
Okay.
But otherwise, fiction has taken a backseat. But at one time, I used to read a lot. So I think that you know built up this interest in me, and I used to love to write. I mean, I'm not saying like write stories or things like that, but I used to love to pen my thoughts. And I think
Okay.
that helped me develop my language. And this is something I tell my students now. What
Okay.
started off as just journaling, which one of my teachers actually suggested. We were very fortunate to have a very, very, what do you say, very, what do you say? She's someone who's been amazing at teaching English.
Mhm.
So I think automatically we learn so much from her. And that's when she made us, she told us that as an activity, she told us keep the small book and start writing 5 to 10, lines a day about your routine.
Hmm.
And I started in that way. And then she started telling us, start writing about the things you see around you. And that interest grew. And then there's no stopping. I love to write. And then it used to be great because we were given opportunities where, we could get our writings published, also our articles published in a school magazine. And to see your name there is again another high.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Writing makes a huge difference. I also used to write about my day at the end of the day. It forces your
Yes.
brain to think in English, isn't it?
Yes. Not only that, you've learned so many vocabulary. Like I told you, this amazing teacher of mine. So she used to teach us so many new words, and I used to consciously try to put those words into the
Hmm.
whatever I was writing. So
Correct.
at the end of the day, I learned where to use it exactly.
Hmm.
So the language just grew, it just grew. And it's not like, and see, of course we had an amazing teacher, but not all the 40 students in my class have my level of English. So it
Mhm.
doesn't actually, you can't say the teacher alone is responsible for where
Right,
you are,
right, right.
right? I
Right.
mean, it depends
It's
on
true.
the student
Correct,
and
correct.
your interest, your passion.
Mhm.
Yes, for
Yes.
me, I was very passionate about it.
Yeah.
So to this day, I have my diaries, what I wrote when I was in the ninth standard, and I love reading it. I love reading it.
I also sometimes go through my diaries and I read what I used to write in my college. I did this, chatted with friends and all that. I love it when I read it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's so nostalgic. Like you said, I would have spoken something about what happened in class that day. And maybe I
Mm.
was angry, and so the words were all, in that tone. But when I read it now, it's funny, it's nostalgic, and it definitely brings a smile to my face. So
Yes.
even now, when I feel I need to recall those days, I just have to open out those old, dog-eared diaries that I have. I've got so many of them, and that's how I think my
I
passion
have
grew.
also kept them all. It feels like
Really,
that moment has come alive.
really,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. I remember my friends used to tell me that when we being in the defense, the Kendriya Vidyalaya. So my friends used to get transferred every 2 years, every 3 years, but we kept in touch.
Mhm.
And she used to tell me, even now she tells me, I used to say, keep all your letters. I collected my letters and I had a touch of humor. Okay. I used to use a lot of humor in my writing.
Mhm.
And then she said, I used to laugh when I get your letters. And hearing me laugh, my mother used to ask me, "What are you laughing about? We read a letter, and what's so funny?" And she said, "I have to give her the letter." And she told me, after that, she would ask me, "Did Anita write a letter to you?"
Yeah.
So she's so angry when she said, "Why did you give up writing?" He said, "You should have continued writing. You really had a flair for it." But
Mm.
somewhere down the line, I dropped it. Yes, after marriage, I guess. Then
Okay.
your responsibilities shift, and then
Mhm.
everything came to a standstill.
So
My
you
ability.
started working, I mean, you started teaching English after your kids moved out, right?
Yes, yes. That is when
So,
they moved out after the 12th standard.
mhm.
12th. So
Okay,
after that, after they moved out, I started it.
okay,
And
okay.
that fear, Meenu, that fear in me, like, see, when I went to this institute, I was like petrified. I said, what if
Mhm.
they gonna, obviously they're gonna have an interview. And I've never done anything. I never worked at all. Soon after I finished my college, I think I did a short course in computers. It never did me any good at all because I don't recall learning anything. I'm still zero, okay, at it. I was at least, and then I got married. So then
Mhm.
after that, there was absolutely I did nothing related to working. And
Okay.
then later on, when I saw my friends, each time when I went back to Bangalore, I had my friends working in the corporates, and I used to feel miserable. I was like, why I could have been there like them. Somewhere
Okay.
I started feeling very low on my self-esteem. I felt like, I'm not good enough. Like, I didn't do anything worthwhile in my life, things like that. And they were saying, you had language. We thought you will be the one, who will be working and doing really well. And you're not. So that, really rubbed it in. So I thought, okay, let me give it a try. So once I started off, it started from a scratch, no help, like nobody taught me how to do it.
Mhm.
Everything, whether it's computers, how to teach, what the lesson plans are, totally was from my creations. So I take great pride in it when I tell people that, if I'm here today, it's not been a cakewalk. Okay, it's been really tough, but
Mhm.
an enjoyable journey. I've loved everything along the way, is what I can say. So,
Okay.
so never worked at all in any capacity.
Okay. So how long have you been working at EnglishYaari?
English Yari, I started only in August, end of August.
Oh, this year only.
Yes, yes. I told you, I was taking classes like offline classes and doing the IELTS coaching also.
Mhm.
It was around that time that I attended a short course on, I told you, I've always been wanting to branch off into online teaching.
Mhm.
But as I told you, not being tech savvy, I was totally technically challenged. I didn't know, other than switching in and switching off the computer, I never knew anything more to it. So I just wanted something. I needed that thing. So I joined this institute called Inspira on Facebook.
Mhm.
Actually, I wanted that introduction to online teaching, how to do it. So much so, I didn't even know how to do a presentation. I didn't even know what is a PowerPoint presentation, So, how
Mhm.
those little things, this is what I wanted to learn. And I somehow thought, my God, just imagine starting off at 50s, doing things like this.
So you started in your 50s.
Yes, 50.
Okay.
This one. No, no, no. When I started teaching, it was earlier. I must have been about 43, 45. But I'm
Mhm.
saying into computers, learning about computers, how to take an online class, and all the nitty gritties, I learned
Mhm.
only in my 50s, post
Okay,
50s.
okay, okay.
So for me, it was quite a challenge. Okay, so when I joined this institute, after joining this institute, and I got the confidence that yes, I must start online classes now. That's when
Mhm.
my institute themselves suggested that I apply to EnglishYaari. So
Oh,
yes,
great.
they referred me, and I applied for it, and fortunately they decided I was good enough, and so
Mhm.
here I am.
And you worked at Clapingo as well?
No, no,
Okay,
never. This is my first online platform, first
okay.
ever online platform. I told you
Okay.
I didn't know how to handle online,
Okay.
classes.
You didn't know how what is PowerPoint, and I was
Not
from
at
IT background. I have taught people MS Access, MS Word, MS PowerPoint, and whatnot. I have studied that, and I have taught that. I am from that background only.
strong needed exactly. And fortunately, my children, I used to fall back on my kids. Like they taught me the little things like what is MS Word. They taught me to do a Word document. Of course, I learned a little from my transcription days, like.
Mhm.
But even then, I didn't go totally into MS Word. I didn't even know how to save the file. you know.
Okay, okay.
And then on, when my son taught me, okay, do this, open a Word file, do this, save it. And then I had to start doing it because I needed material when I started teaching. So I
Mhm.
started saving all, whatever I got from the net, copy pasted or write it down, and I started. So then after I joined this institute, I told you, then I came to know how to, I learned how to make a PowerPoint presentation. And that, in fact, I had a very nice set of colleagues there. I made a, well, generally being a very friendly person, we formed this one nice group there, and we helped each other out. So that way they helped me, to make these PowerPoint presentations, which were part of our work as well. On the course,
Okay.
we were supposed to give, we were supposed to prepare PowerPoint presentations and take half an hour or 1 hour of classes online. So that petrified me because, like I told you, I didn't know anything about it. So we helped each other along. Well, several people, all in the same age group as I am. So we
Okay.
helped each other, So in that way, I learned PowerPoint
Okay.
presentations. And so now I have the courage, yes, I can manage an online platform and,
Yes.
make a success out of it too.
Yeah. So, what are
Yes.
your children doing these days?
They're both working. Both of
They're
them
both
are working.
working.
Yes, they're both
Okay.
working in Bangalore. Yes, they're working in
Okay.
Bangalore. So every 2 months or so. In fact, my son just came in today, so I'm extra happy today. Nice to have the kids at home.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they're just here. He's just here for a couple of days, and so until then, at least some noise
Mhm.
and some laughter and some, happiness at home.
When they go back again, house feels
Uh,
empty.
yes, but fortunately for me, EnglishYaari happened at the time, so that now I have no time actually, because the sessions keep me occupied, and the rest of the time when I do get some free time, I like to just brush up on my skills. Like somewhere, like there's always something to learn, isn't this? You can be an expert in anything, and yet there comes a day we say, I don't know this. Like somebody,
Yes.
that day one of my students asked me a word. I said, I'm sorry, I haven't heard this word.
Yeah.
I said, give me time. Next session,
Mhm.
next time when we meet up, I'll tell you what it means.
See,
So,
nobody can be an encyclopedia. How can we know each and every word that is written in the
exactly.
English dictionary? That's not
You
possible.
cannot.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm learning so much myself every day. So I'm
Yeah.
very
Me
frank
too.
with the students. When they
Yeah.
ask me something I don't know, I said, please, see, this is how much I know. But then give me time till the next session. I'm going to get back to you and we'll discuss it. So it's
Yeah.
like that. So every day is a learning, and I am learning
Correct. Correct. We are
a
learning
lot.
every day. All
Yes,
of us are
every
learning.
day.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. That keeps me totally occupied, Meenu. What
Yeah.
about yourself? What about your sessions?
I also have 2, 3 sessions every day, and I
Good.
upload them on YouTube.
Good.
Yeah.
There have been a couple of YouTubers who had sessions with me before. Yes,
Yes. Yeah.
yes. So initially, when I know a YouTuber, I used to think, "Oh my God!" Now that again.
Yeah.
See, when you're a teacher and you do all, when the controls are in your hand, it feels good. But when the controls is in somebody else's hand, you're like, "My God, what are they going to ask?"
Yeah. Then it feels like an interview. Yeah. So yeah,
Exactly.
you
Yes.
speak,
Yes.
you speak very well, and you are very friendly, very friendly.
Right.
Really
Thanks,
loved
Meenu.
talking to you.
Thanks, Meenu. I think it reflects, you come across as a very friendly person yourself. And yes, yes, I think basically, generally by nature, I'm like this. I just have to see that somebody is friendly and I can get along like a house on fire.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So,
Okay.
what else? So,
Um,
tell me a little about your hobbies. What are your hobbies? Like when you don't
I
do
love to
YouTubing?
listen to music, Bollywood
Same
music, be
here.
it English music. Music is, you can say, it's my life.
Same here. Even I'm very passionate about music and I also sing. So, I pride myself on singing also. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's lovely. Yes, even me. I'm very passionate about music, reading, and now a new passion is gardening. Not
Okay.
that
Okay. Okay.
not that I have green fingers, but yes, I've suddenly realized that I love gardening and I love having plants around the place and messing myself up, all that. But now, unfortunately, I don't have enough of time
Mhm.
because I have back-to-back sessions and very little time in between for my other chores. Yeah.
Mhm.
Otherwise, yes.
I am still in that phase, husband goes to office, my children go to college. So I have to
Okay.
send them off. Then I sit down with my meetings and then editing everything.
You do
So,
everything yourself. Wonderful. Yeah. After doing MCA, I guess it's like it's all at the tip of your fingers, right?
yeah,
So
I'm
how
like,
how is your YouTube going otherwise?
It's doing well. I have been running my YouTube channel for last 3.5 years. So it has about 42,000 subscribers currently. So it's
Wow.
doing well. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, how many videos do you upload in a day?
I try to upload one every day. Actually, my coaching center was doing well, but then COVID happened. Most of the people stopped coming.
Yes.
Then my husband suggested, why don't you teach on YouTube? That's how I started, my YouTube channel.
So, so in your YouTube channel, do you take classes? Do you take sessions? How is it?
I have, sessions with people on Zoom, and then I record them. Then I upload them on,
No, no, no.
those
What
are
I'm
not
asking
live
is,
sessions. Those are not live sessions.
no, I
I
understand. But then, do you take classes and record it, or do you just, interact with learners and tutors and then record it? How do you do
I
it?
just interact with learners. Those are not paid classes. I just, put them on YouTube. Whoever approaches me, I ask them, are you okay if I upload it there? So if they are okay,
Right,
then I upload
right.
it on YouTube. So that's how it works.
Okay, wonderful. So it's not like you don't upload any classes as such, like,
No, no, there are no
nothing.
classes going on. I used
No.
to give an online classes as well. I started my YouTube journey. Then I was giving online classes as well. But with YouTube and online classes, everything, it was very difficult for me. And I
It
was not
becomes very
getting any
hectic to
time for
juggle
myself.
everything. Yes,
Yeah,
that becomes a little difficult. And
yeah.
plus household chores also.
Yeah, because kids are not working, they are still in that phase, they are going to college.
I
So, yeah.
understand. Yes,
So
yes,
then
yes,
I
yes.
discontinued online classes. Now I'm only making YouTube videos, that's it. No online classes,
Wonderful.
no offline classes, nothing.
Wonderful. So that's your career, you would say now.
Yeah. Yes. Now I
Wonderful.
get a little time for myself. Yeah.
Good, good. I think it's we do need to make time for ourselves, right?
Correct,
So
correct.
after a certain point, you keep thinking like, no, what did I study so much in life, and struggled hard
Yeah.
to be where you are, and then I mean, like, what are you? At the end of the day, you ask yourself, who are you, or what are you, and you no answers to it,
Yeah. The
isn't
other
it?
day, the other day I was thinking, I'm making so much money. Where is the time to enjoy that? I need to
True,
enjoy that. Uh,
true, true. So do you
yeah.
have some girlfriends you